Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 trailer includes classic throwback to TOS and introduces the holodeck to the Enterprise. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has always been a balancing act of past and future, and in the Season 3 trailer, the Paramount Plus series perfects that equilibrium by boldly venturing into fan-favorite territory. The new teaser dropped like a photon torpedo, packed with tantalizing reveals, high-stakes missions, dramatic new character arcs, a mysterious threat that ties into classic canon, and two jaw-dropping moments that have the fandom buzzing. One is a brilliant homage to Star Trek, the original series TOS, and the other marks a historic first for this timeline, the Enterprise's very first holodeck. This potent mixture of nostalgia and innovation makes it clear. Strange New Worlds Season 3 is shaping up to be a love letter to Trek history and a bold expansion of its future. A season of change. What the trailer reveals. The trailer opens with an evocative voiceover from Captain Christopher Pike Anson Mount, setting the emotional tone. Exploration is never about certainty. It's about the courage to face the unknown. His words echo across rapid-fire clips. The Enterprise maneuvering through a gravitational anomaly, Lieutenant Lon Noonien Singh locked in a brutal hand-to-hand fight on a Romulan outpost, and Spock Ethan Peck walking alone through a Vulcan desert. Amid all the high-octane drama and suspense, two scenes stood out as seismic shifts in the Strange New Worlds landscape. First, a brief but unmistakable throwback to TOS, featuring a reimagined version of an iconic alien species. Second, the surprise unveiling of a holodeck aboard the Enterprise centuries before it's supposed to exist. Let's break down both of these revelations. Throwback to TOS, a Gorn evolution or a salt vampire resurrection? Trek fans are already dissecting frame by frame the trailer's midpoint, which reveals a striking visual callback. In a darkened cave, a member of the Enterprise crew, likely Lieutenant Ortegas, is attacked by a creature with glowing red eyes, clawed hands, and what appears to be salt-drained skin. If this sounds familiar, it should. The creature bears an eerie resemblance to the salt vampire, also known as the M113 creature from the first aired episode of TOS, The Man Trap. In that episode, the monster feeds on salt and uses telepathic camouflage to assume familiar faces. While that episode was more Monster of the Week than nuanced morality play, it remains one of Trek's most iconic early stories. For Strange New Worlds to revisit the creature and perhaps expand on its origin or ecological role is a daring creative choice. The trailer seems to lean into that horror tone again, with rapid shots of crew members mysteriously collapsing and Dr. M'Benga whispering, "There's no salt left in their bodies." Whether the creature is a direct descendant of the salt vampire, a new species with a similar biology, or even a hallucination created by some alien tech remains to be seen. But the visual cue is undeniable, and it links Strange New Worlds Season 3 back to the very birth of televised Trek in a deeply meaningful way. The holodeck, welcome to the future. Ahead of schedule, the second major revelation from the trailer is even more disruptive in a good way. In a sequence that comes 2/3 into the trailer, viewers see Ensign Uhura Celia Rose Gooding stepping into a glowing chamber filled with semi-transparent holographic projections. Moments later, she's standing on a sunlit beach, looking stunned. "Where am I?" she asks. Spock's voice replies, "You are in the holodeck." This marks the first time the holodeck has appeared aboard the Enterprise in this pre-TNG timeline. And it raises massive implications for canon. Historically, the holodeck, a fully immersive virtual reality environment, made its first major appearance in Star Trek, The Next Generation, set more than 100 years after Strange New Worlds. Though hints of earlier versions of the technology appeared in the animated series, and even in Star Trek Enterprise, the assumption was always that it wasn't widespread during Pike's or Kirk's era. So how does it suddenly exist in Strange New Worlds? The trailer gives us a hint. Chief Engineer Pelia Carol Kane is seen standing before a glowing schematic labeled Experimental Holo Simulation Chamber while talking with Number 1 Rebecca Romijn. This isn't standard Starfleet tech, she warns. It's not even finished. This suggests the holodeck is an experimental prototype, maybe borrowed from another alien race or secretly developed in some deep Starfleet lab. Introducing it now isn't so much a canon violation as a clever workaround. The tech exists, but it's rare, dangerous, and not widely implemented. That's classic Strange New Worlds, finding loopholes in continuity that allow for new storytelling possibilities while still respecting the broader Trek timeline. Holodeck stories offer new creative freedom. Bringing the holodeck into Strange New Worlds opens narrative doors the show has never touched before. For one, it allows characters to explore emotional or psychological stories without leaving the ship. Want a noir detective mystery starring Lon? A Vulcan opera that lets Spock express emotion? A 21st century holonovel where Pike experiences modern Earth's history? All suddenly possible. More importantly, holodeck stories often explore the line between reality and illusion, raising ethical dilemmas about AI, identity, escapism, and consent. That's especially compelling given the show's already deep exploration of trauma and recovery, particularly for characters like Lon and M'Benga. Rumors suggest that one Season 3 episode will be almost entirely set in the holodeck, functioning as a genre experiment. Perhaps a Shakespearean drama or war simulation gone wrong. If true, it would mirror the format-breaking brilliance of past Trek holodeck classics like TNG's The Big Goodbye or Voyager's Bride of Chaotica. Legacy meets innovation. The decision to revisit the Salt Vampire and introduce the holodeck may seem like two unrelated creative choices, one rooted in Trek's past, the other charging into the future. But both signal a central thesis for Strange New Worlds Season 3. This is the season where the legacy of Trek becomes the launchpad for bold new experimentation. For example, the trailer hints at temporal instability with a blink, and you miss its shot of the Enterprise caught in what looks like a time dilation field. Is this how the holodeck gets introduced, the result of advanced tech from a future contact? Or a paradox spawned by a cross-temporal mission? In that same montage, we glimpse a brief shot of Captain Kirk Paul Wesley dressed in 21st century civilian clothes, standing on what appears to be a New York City subway platform. Could this be a tie-in to the holodeck episode, or a full-blown time travel storyline that dovetails with the rest? Whatever the case, the lines between reality simulation and history seem more blurred than ever this season. Thematically rich, visually stunning. Beyond lore and callbacks, the trailer showcases Strange New Worlds' signature strength, high production value fused with character-driven storytelling. Sweeping shots of new planets, alien citadels, and cosmic anomalies look more cinematic than ever. One standout shot shows the Enterprise entering the atmosphere of a gas giant, while another sees Chapel Jess Bush floating midair in zero gravity as holographic projections swirl around her. There's also a recurring visual motif, mirrors, reflections, and doubles. Spock stares at his reflection. Lon walks into a room with another version of herself. These images suggest Season May 3rd grapple heavily with identity, duality, and choice, especially compelling in the context of holodeck illusions and psychological horror. Final Frontier or New Beginning? With Season 3, Strange New World seems to be stepping into a more daring,